me see. See if these lives get up. Okay, okay. Going live on both sites right now. I hope it's clear. We're gonna, I'm gonna touch on today. Send my salutations out to my brothers and sisters out in Biafra land. May 30th, every year, annually, is Biafran Heroes and Ancestor Day for the freedom fighters of Biafra. So, I told my brothers and sisters in Biafra that I was gonna, show my solidarity today, because today is it's a movement all across the world right now, as far as Biafran, basically a memorial day for the genocide of Biafra. And this is National Sit Home Day for Biafrans. So I'm here in the United States of America representing, the Provisional Government, Republic of New Africa, and the blacks in America and the New Africans in America that's standing in solidarity with our brothers and sisters back in Biafra land. So this video is not going to be that long. This live not going to be that long. I'm just going to say my piece and, and just touch on a few things regarding the Biafran genocide, because I know a lot of my people here in North America do not know about the Biafran genocide that's still going on right now, today, in 2018. This genocide has been going on ever since the false settler Nigerian state came into existence, was put into existence by the British colonialist empire of the, royal family. Because a lot of people, I've seen a lot of black people in America, they love, y'all love yourselves some British royal family. But I just want to state that's the most evilest family on this planet and the most evilest empire on this planet, which is the British Empire, which today is still colonizing Africa. It's specifically West Africa and Central Africa. So I'm just going to be speaking on a few things of those. I just want to send solidarity because I'm in Virginia. Virginia is considered Igbo land. There's an Igbo village here in Virginia. I myself have Igbo ancestry. You know what I'm saying? That was enslaved here during the domestic slave trade and the transatlantic slave trade. And this is another thing that I wanted to touch on also, that I'm going to be touching on, is General Ojukwu speech and his history. See, a lot of people don't know this also, that our brothers and sisters in Africa back then, the freedom fighters back then, they were well aware of the brothers and sisters over here in America due to our ancestors being transported and forced over here to North America. So a lot of people don't even know General Ojukwu, who was the leader of the Republic of Biafra. He knew this history. He knew about the slave rebellions of North America. He knew about all these things. So I'm going to be touching on this little speech that he wrote sometime back in the 1960s and 1970s, speaking on the ancestors who were brought over here and the ancestors who rebelled. General Ojukwu also knew that the struggle for black people in America was for an independent African nation in the Western Hemisphere. So General Ojukwu put out this statement and speech stating that he understood that struggle of new Africans and blacks in America who wanted their own nation. Because like I always say when I'm doing these videos and I'm always teaching this stuff, like, if we couldn't get back to Africa, if we can't get back to Africa, we should be struggling for Africa right here in North America, because that has always been the struggle of your ancestors. But the most important struggle for blacks in America, new Africans in America, is trying to free Africa. Because this is what the red, black, and green stands for. Africa must be freed first. That is the first agenda. But while we struggling to free Africa also, we must be struggling to free ourselves right here in North America. Because too many blacks in America have been how can I put it? You know, have fell in love with the United States of America and you think you're free, but you're not free. You see what I'm saying? There are no free, independent black nations in this world right now. Do they have countries? Yes. But are they free? No. Because we are living in the era of neocolonialism. Neocolonialism is puppet leadership that is controlled by the old colonial imperialists, which is the imperialist nations like the United States of America, Britain, just about almost every nation in Europe is an imperialist conquering nations. Or, you know, that old, and I ain't gonna leave out the Middle East neither. Saudi Arabia is also another imperialist conquering nation. You see what I'm saying? So let me just touch on that. You know what I'm saying, for a second. Because a lot of people don't know about the struggle. But first, let me speak on this. For my people in America, Google or write this name down because y'all don't know this name. And I'm going to just, me being an advocate for my brothers and sisters in Biafra, let me just put this out here because y'all need to know about this freedom fighter, this leader. He's amongst one of the greats. He's like Thomas Sankara. He's like Amilcar Cabral. I mean, he's like don't let me leave out Patrice Lumumba, the most important leader of Africa. This is one of the new generation leaders, man, that took up this struggle of all those great African leaders we praise here in America, that we look back on Africa and we honor as freedom fighters. Write down his name. Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdikanu. Nnamdi Kanu. Because too many people, I know we got our own struggles going on here in North America that we might not have time to, really pay attention what's going on internationally with the struggles that's going on internationally across the globe. But this is the importance of political education, that I'm always stressing political education. Because the simple fact, if you don't know what's going on in Africa, then you damn sure don't know what's going on in America. Because everything predicated with the oppression that's going on in Africa is going on to us here in America, and is a reflection of what's going on in Africa, because our struggle and our oppression, our enslavement began in Africa, and it continues in Africa. You see what I'm saying? Whatever goes on there affects us here. So you need to start paying attention to what's going on over there. You see what I'm saying? Because over here is nothing but a manifestation of the evils that's going on over there. You see what I'm saying? A lot of us are Pan-Africans. So a lot of the Pan-African movements need to start getting involved with what's going on over there. Because right now, and I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to state this right now. The Biafran struggle, this is the most important struggle that's going on in Africa right now. And y'all need to pay attention to that. Right now. This is the biggest struggle for independence and freedom that's going on in Africa right now. They are in the forefront of trying to free their nation and trying to free Africa. Right now, Biafra, inside of Nigeria, Igbo people. You see what I'm saying? Pay attention to this struggle. It's a genocide that's going on over there. These brothers and sisters are still being murdered. And it's a shame that none of this is international news. I mean, it's international news far as like African websites, and far as Biafran websites, they're putting the information out there. They're putting the struggle out there. I'm doing my part here in Virginia. But y'all need to, if you're a Pan-African and you're a person that believes in nationhood, you believe in true freedom, you believe in independence, you need to pay attention to the struggle of the Republic of Biafra. They are leading the way in this era. You know what I'm saying? We always going back to the past and, studying like we should do, studying and uplifting and commemorating the freedom fighting struggles of back then. But we have one that's going on right now. And also there's another struggle that's going on in Cameroon, which is the struggle for Zambia. That's another struggle that's going on in Africa. There are several nations that are trying to get free in Africa that's not recognized as a nation state, basically. You see what I'm saying? But this struggle I want y'all to pay attention to, because the majority of Africans in America, you have an ancestor in your lineage that would tie back to Igbo land, Biafra land. Over 70% of our people in America have Igbo ancestry. You see what I'm saying? Not to knock the Yoruba people. We know we have Yoruba ancestry too. We have Akan ancestry. We have Ashanti ancestry. We have Fawn, Iwe, Wolof. I mean, the list goes on. We have a whole lot of ancestry. But this region that I'm in, as far as Virginia in the United States, southeastern part of the United States of America, the greatest percentage of your ancestry is Igbo. So you really need to pay attention to this struggle. You see what I'm saying? So the reason why this is important and why the struggle for black Americans to recognize Biafra and to help Biafra obtain their independence is this. We all Pan-Africans. We know our number one goal is to get free and to free Africa and to free an independent state and to set up an independent state nation in Africa that's going to, how can I put it? I don't want to say perfect. I don't want to say perfect nation, because we all know no nation will ever be perfect. But the struggle is to free African countries in Africa that can ultimately, how can I put it, can ultimately be those nations to obtain the true goals of freedom and to live and govern under a civilized society. That's what I'm basically trying to state. You see what I'm saying? Where the resources are distributed amongst the people, where the resources are controlled by the people, not by no greedy dictatorship. You see what I'm saying? So this is the goal. If you're a Pan-African here in America and all across the globe, because a lot of people, I know y'all be seeing that Biafran flag. The Biafran flag is red, black, green with the sun in the middle. You see what I'm saying? Marcus Garvey. They're carrying up the Garvey struggle. That's any Pan-African. When you see that red, black, and green flag, that is a Pan-Africanist struggle. Meaning, Africans across the globe must come together and help free African governments, African nations that are socialist nations that are for the people. Period. You see what I'm saying? It's too many puppet governments in Africa. This is why Africa is not free. Matter of fact, let me get to this point before, because I'm not going to make this live too long, because I'm just showing my solidarity, because I told my Biafran brothers and sisters that I would speak on this a little bit. Nigeria. Let me state the history of Nigeria for people, because a lot of people in America, a lot of black people in America are romanticizing Nigeria. Let me state this for the record, so you can go do your homework on Nigeria. Nigeria is a puppet, how can I put it? Nigeria is a puppet, white, British created country. They never gained true independence from the British. Never. You see what I'm saying? Do they control certain resources? Yes. But those resources are not reaching the people of Nigeria. Like, all the stuff you be seeing all on the websites with the beautiful clothes in Nigeria, yes, we romanticize all those things. But there are areas in Nigeria, like Biafra land, Igbo land, and other ethnic tribes in Africa who are not getting these resources. These resources are being colonized by the British Empire. You see what I'm saying? And being split amongst the bourgeoisie, rich, wealthy, black class of Nigeria. See, a lot of people get caught up in skin color. You see what I'm saying? Your oppressors come in all skin colors. It don't matter if you black. It don't matter if you African. they're Africans in Africa still oppressing black Africans who are black just like them. And they are evil or more evil than the white man. Facts. The Nigerian government is the same way. They are evil. They are only working for the interests of the British Empire. This is facts. Go look it up. Don't take my word for it. See, because a lot of our people don't do no research. We get online all day. We claim we Africans. We claim we indigenous. We claim we all this. But ain't nobody doing no political education. And ain't nobody doing no research. You see what I'm saying? Because if you knew these things, you see what I'm saying? You'll be struggling to get yourself free. You see what I'm saying? Because like I said, what goes on in Africa affects what's going on, affects blacks here in America. We need those resources. We need those connections. This is why Biafra has to get free. Because once Biafra get free, new Africans, we have a country that we can stand in solidarity with, another nation we can stand in solidarity with, and we can obtain these resources and cut out the white man and cut out the greedy ass black man who's a devil too. They're black devils too. The white man ain't the only devil. The black man is a devil. You see what I'm saying? So we need to cut all that bullshit out also with all this just pointing the finger at the white man. We know the white man is the supreme goddamn oppressor of the earth. We know this already. But what about the Negroes that's killing your people every day? What about them? Look just like me and you. What about them? You got to get through them first to get to the white man. Because I see more black puppet Africans oppressing their people more than the cracker. This is facts. You see what I'm saying? If you just study this, if you go research and study the genocide that's going on in Biafra, trust me, it will open your consciousness to a whole nother world. This is our duty as Pan-Africans, New Africans, all over the globe. Everybody who's in solidarity with the red, black, and green flag, it's your duty to understand what's going on in Africa. Because if you don't understand that shit, you cannot understand your own oppression right here in America. You see what I'm saying? Because these empires are still a collective of imperialism. You see what I'm saying? The United States, British, France, all these cats, man. That's just facts. You see what I'm saying? Back to Nigeria. What I was saying about Nigeria. Our people get caught up when they go to Lagos. Because I know a lot of black Americans go to Lagos. And when they go to Lagos, they get caught up into this fairy tale world like Nigeria is this perfect black nation that's helping black people. You see what I'm saying? And taking care of their own. That is false, man. You know, and that's why you got to go do this research. It's false. Nigeria has killed more Igbo people than some genocides that have taken place throughout the whole history of the world. You see what I'm saying? 3 million men, women, children were murdered between the period of May 30th, 1967 to January 15th, 1970. You see what I'm saying? And guess who was behind that? The Nigerian army, the Nigerian government, with the help of the British Empire, cut off the Biafran people's food supply, cut off their medical aid. Who do that remind you of? That's the same thing that the imperialist United States of America and all the other imperialist nations of the world been doing all across the globe. When they don't want to see a true independent revolutionary nation rise up, what do? They genocide them. You see what I'm saying? 3 million. Some say 20 million black brothers and sisters of the Biafran nation were died from famine, hunger, disease, plain out terrorism and murder by the Nigerian army. There's videos all online. Go to YouTube. Research the Biafra Nigeria Civil War. One of the most important genocides that you need to study. Because this can happen to you. This can happen to black people in America. The white people are already killing us today. They genociding us today in America. So what if it gets to that point of what happened to the people in Biafra? When they cut off your food supply, cut off your medical aid. What you gonna do? You see what I'm saying? See, this is why it's important. We must get into the struggle and making these international connections. Internationalism. We must make connections with our brothers and sisters back in Africa because we never know what's going to happen to us here in America. You see what I'm saying? All the people who are natural freedom fighters, who fighting for true black liberation in America, who want to truly be free from the oppression of the United States of America. Hey, one day they might try to genocide us. Where we gonna run to? You see what I'm saying? Where we gonna go to? If we don't have no nations back in Africa free that's willing to take us in. You see what I'm saying? This is why the Biafran struggle is important. You see what I'm saying? Because if they get free, now we have a nation in West Africa that we can go back home to. You see what I'm saying? If you're tired of being murdered by these pigs every day, if you're tired of the injustice system of America, then let's go back home. You see what I'm saying? Do y'all realize how much land is in Africa right now that they giving away to brothers and sisters from over here who want to come home? You see what I'm saying? But you wouldn't know that because you're only concerned with what's going on within the United States of America. You know what I'm saying? There's an independent struggle here in the hills of North America. But we must tie these struggles together because this is what our elders and our elder freedom fighters who's sitting in prison doing 40 and 50 years, this is what they was doing back in the 60s and 70s. They got down with the South African struggle, the Mozambique struggles. They participated in all these struggles. They wasn't just sitting in America and just paying attention to only our struggles that's going on here in America. No, people like Matulu, Shakur, and all these freedom fighters, man, they was making connections back in Africa, man. They were helping the South African brothers and sisters. They was tying this connection together. We're Pan-Africans. We have to get in all African struggles. Period. You see what I'm saying? But, like I was saying, Nigeria is not this glorious, beautiful nation that y'all think it is. You have to go there to see it for yourself. Because don't just take my word for it. Also, you got to go there. You see what I'm saying? And you're going to see. And don't go to Lagos. Go to southeastern Nigeria. Go to northern Nigeria. Where those peoples in northern Nigeria are oppressing Africans in northern Nigeria due to religious beliefs and religious faith. You have Muslims, and I love my Muslim brothers and sisters. I love them to death. You see what I'm saying? We might got Fulani ancestry here in America. They sent Fulani slaves to America too. So we probably got Fula in our blood too. You see what I'm saying? But my thing is this: I'm not gonna co-sign no human oppressing other humans. I'm not co-signing. I don't care if you black. I don't care if you my ancestor. But if, you know what I'm saying, I don't care if you Muslim. I don't care if you Christian. But if you're oppressing another human being, you are evil. If you are killing another human being, you are evil. The only time you should kill should be in self-defense. That's the only time you should be killing. You see what I'm saying? You shouldn't be killing no people over their religious beliefs, their religious faiths. None of that. That's shit that the European done indoctrinated in your mind, enslaved in your mind, that your Muslim brother, you see what I'm saying, is not your brother and sister. Or your Christian brother is not your brother and sister. I'm not a Muslim. I'm not a Christian. You see what I'm saying? But I stand in solidarity with the ones with common sense. The ones who are real human beings. You see what I'm saying? Most of my elders and teachers are Muslims. They don't condone what the Fulani is doing in northern Nigeria and what they doing to the Igbo people. They don't co-sign Muslims killing Igbo people. They don't co-sign that shit. That's genocide. That's backwards culture. You see what I'm saying? Backwards culture that you got from the oppressors who invaded that land. You see what I'm saying? The backwards Arab who just only wanted to kill. You see what I'm saying? The backwards European who only wanted to kill. Our people have took up these colonial traits You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of people tend to forget we were enslaved on both continents, bro. Get it in your mind. Our brothers and sisters in Africa went through the same thing our ancestors went through here. Except for the slavery here in America was a new slavery that even our brothers and sisters in Africa didn't experience. You see what I'm saying? So we got to get it together, man. You see what I'm saying? And like I said, let me get back to this real quick too, because I ain't trying to make this lie long. That name, Nnamdi Kanu. This man has been missing ever since September 2017. And I haven't seen not one time where most of our Pan-African movements across the globe are putting this message out here that this man has been kidnapped. This man is missing. This is another great leader that has been kidnapped by the crooked Nigerian government on the orders of the British Empire. You see what I'm saying? This man is missing. He made, and I don't want to say this, and I'm not trying to manifest this into the atmosphere, but this man may be deceased. You see what I'm saying? But nobody is speaking about this shit. Nobody is talking about it. But we talk about Patrice Lumumba. And the thing about it, this is what makes these cases so identical. These are the most identical cases ever. Patrice Lumumba and Nnamdi Kanu. The same thing happened to Patrice Lumumba. What happened to him? He was kidnapped by the colonialists and the puppet Negroes. Nnamdi Kanu been missing ever since September 2017. He been kidnapped. You see what I'm saying? When are our people here in America, when our leaders here in America and our leaders across the globe, when y'all gonna start speaking on this shit, man? They gotta find Nnamdi Kanu, man. This man been missing since last year. 2018, 2017, new era, African freedom fighter is missing right now. Don't nobody know where he at. You see what I'm saying? And also this, man, go, when you on Facebook and Instagram, just type in Biafra. You see what I'm saying? And when you see Biafra, befriend our brothers and sisters from Biafra land. Follow pages like the Biafra Digest. Shout out also to Radio Biafra. I got to speak on Radio Biafra to my peoples in West Africa like a week or two ago. And it was the greatest feeling ever, man. You know what I'm saying? To be over here in America talking to my brothers and sisters on their radio internationally. Ain't too many people here doing that. You see what I'm saying? I did that on my own. You see what I'm saying? And not trying to be over cocky about it. You see what I'm saying? But I'm talking to my peoples over there, man. I'm making connections over there, man. You see what I'm saying? I'm taking up what Matulu and all these people taught us to get into the international struggle. The Republic of New Africa, the Black Panther Party, man. Like, I do a lot of shit that I don't even talk about online. I don't even post that shit half the time because I ain't looking for no accolades. I'm looking for freedom. You see what I'm saying? I'm looking for total independence and freedom. I don't want no accolades. I don't want no awards. I want my people free. And I want my Igbo brothers and sisters to be free. I want all freedom-loving African people to be free and all freedom-loving people to be free. Because these governments that we live under today, we are not free. Black people in America, you are not freaking free. I know you loving all this illusion, the American dream. You see what I'm saying? You loving the false American dream, man. But your brothers and sisters are being murdered every day in the streets of America by these police departments. Your brothers and sisters are being incarcerated at high rates that's higher than the enslavement of our ancestors in America right now. Poverty hasn't changed in America in 50 years. Go pull up the stats. 1968 to 2018. Nothing has changed as far as housing, food, employment. Nothing has changed. Who want to continue living like that? You see what I'm saying? I just don't get it, man. I just don't get it. Freedom-loving people, man. Now, let me run this down before I get off this live, man. Let me send salutations out to this. And I'm gonna finish up more about the Biafran and New African connection. This is Biafran Heroes Day, Memorial Day, basically a Memorial Day, like a Memorial Day we celebrate here in America. May 30th. This is like one of the biggest herons commemorations in Africa. If you don't know about Biafran Day and Biafran Heroes Day, please do your research on it. Please. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is like one of the biggest commemorations for freedom fighters and, playing out genocide. Over 3 million women, children, and men were murdered by Nigeria and Britain. You know what I'm saying? Back in May 30th, 1967, all the way up until 1970. You see what I'm saying? But let me say salutations out to these great Igbo Biafran women who sparked it all. You know what I'm saying? Biafran's been fighting forever, because a lot of people don't realize this. Before Nigeria, it was Biafra. Nigeria is not the original name of that landmass. You see what I'm saying? Biafra is an ancient name. Biafra is an ancient nation. Biafra was in existence before Nigeria. If you go Google old maps, and these maps come from Europeans. They come from the colonialists. They even recognized that Biafra was a nation long way before Nigeria. Long before that. And don't get me wrong, it was many nations in that land. Because like I always tell people, those tribes, no matter what tribe you are, those tribes were nations. They had their own governments. You see what I'm saying? They governed their own society, which was communal and basically African socialism. And this is another thing. Like a lot of our freedom fighters here in North America, we like to give too much credit to the white man with certain terms too, like socialism, communism, all these terms. Our ancestors and our African brothers and sisters were already living and governing by these systems. They just didn't have those names. You see what I'm saying? Like Karl Marx. Even Karl Marx will tell you. Karl Marx, the one that came up with all this literature with these names, socialism, communism. Karl Marx even said that shit. He got that shit from Africans. He studied the way Africans lived in Africa, man. Africans were already living under socialist systems. They were already socialists, man. You see what I'm saying? So we're not taking shit from a white man. We're taking shit from Africans that were already living this way. So those tribes and nations in Africa, they were already living under communalism. They were already governing their societies the ways of true freedom and true people who love true freedom. They were already living that way. The great Julius Nyerere, he already put that out there. You know what I'm saying? With his, Ujamaa and all those type of things. Our ancestors were already living that way, man. But what I was stating is that Biafra was already a nation. You see what I'm saying? Before Nigeria. Nigeria is a British, white, created nation that's ran by puppet bourgeoisie Negroes, basically. You know what I'm saying? But let me give a shout out to these beautiful ancestors, man, who sparked it all. Because a lot of people don't know this history. But go do your research on the Aba women's riots of 1929, which was organized by thousands of Igbo women who rose up in that land called Biafra land. They rose up against the British policies of the British colonial empire in Nigeria and fought against those policies and fought against the British and Nigerian army. Women, not men. It was men there, but these were women. Thousands of beautiful black African Igbo women who sparked it all in Calabar. You know what I'm saying? In Nigeria. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to those ancestors, man. Those women who rose up. And this is why our black sisters in America and our black sisters all across the world, you got to get into the struggle, man. Black women have always been freedom fighters. Your ancestors were freedom fighters. Beautiful black sisters, man, who rose up against the British colonial empire. You see what I'm saying? 1929, Aba women's riots. Salute to those herons. Salute to those freedom fighters. Go research that. And also, before I get off this live. This is a specific date that you also need to go research, my people here in America. May 30th, 2016, 140 unarmed brothers, sisters, and I don't know if any children was out there, but I know it was over 140 unarmed indigenous people of Biafra, brothers, sisters, were murdered, genocide, killed by the Nigerian army just by protesting and asking for a referendum and asking for freedom. On this date also, May 30th, 2016, go Google it. Another genocide. And this is just one, you know what I'm saying, of many. Like, there have been genocides going on in Biafra land and in Nigeria, shit, for decades, man. You know what I'm saying? Since the 1920s. And maybe even before that. You know what I'm saying? If you do your history. And you know, you study. You see what I'm saying? So, shout out to those souls, man, that were snatched by people who look just like us, working in the interest of the British Empire. The Nigerian government, man, has to be removed. It has to be removed. It has to be destroyed. Because those people are not serving the interests of the people of Nigeria. Now I see all these people online, brothers and sisters who are reconnecting back to Nigeria. You know what I'm saying? Because that's natural. Because we know the majority of our ancestors came from Nigeria. You see what I'm saying? We know this. So you're going to see a lot of blacks in America changing their names to Yoruba names, changing their names to Igbo names. Because even a lot of my elders and comrades in the New African Independence Movement and the Provisional Government of the Republic of New Africa, many of them have changed their name to Yoruba names and Igbo names. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, being that this is the 50th anniversary year of the New York Black Panther Party, they held a rally in New York City in 1969, I believe. I think it was either after the acquittal or right before the acquittal of the Panther 21. But they held a press conference for John Bird, and the great ancestor, the great freedom fighter, Afeni Shakur, attended this rally. She spoke at this rally. Joan Bird spoke at this rally. And it's another elder, ancestor freedom fighter. I cannot think of his name right now. But at that press conference in New York that year, they had the Biafran flag at that press conference with the New York Black Panther Party. And they were standing in solidarity with the Biafran genocide and the Biafran Heroes Day. So go look that up. You know what I'm saying? All you gotta do is Google Joan Bird or Google Afeni Shakur press conference in New York City. And you will see that they were speaking at this press conference and they had the Biafran flag flying at that press conference, standing in solidarity with our brothers and sisters back in West Africa. So that's something else for you to go research. I'm just trying to get our people in America to study this struggle, man, and get it and start to speak out for our brothers and sisters in Biafra so they can get their nation free. Because right now, let me be technical. Right now, Biafra is the closest, I would say, to independence out of all the independence movements that's going on right now in the world. And also, I can't leave out the Catalonia struggle in Europe. I would say Catalonia and Biafra, these two struggles are the closest to independence. But far as us Pan-African, New African people, the Biafran struggle is the closest to independence, man. That's in Africa, that's taking on the struggle of Kwame Nkrumah. You see what I'm saying? Like, a lot of us are followers of Kwame Nkrumah. You see what I'm saying? If you're a follower of Kwame Nkrumah, then you really should be studying the Biafran struggle right now, man. Because in this time period, in this era, they are what Ghana was doing then. But this struggle is more, how can I put it, more progressive, more aggressive, far as all the independent struggles and fights that's going on right now. Man, if you didn't see that video that they posted yesterday on all the Biafran sites of all those brothers that was in the street, you should have seen it. It was over hundreds. It was hundreds of brothers marching through the streets of southeastern Nigeria with the Biafran flags waving. You like, these brothers and sisters are truly fighting to get free, man. This is motivation for us here in America, man, because we need to pay attention to what we're not doing here. They're doing it there. You see what I'm saying? And I'm gonna just put it to you like this: if we're not gonna get progressive like that, then we should remain slaves. You see what I'm saying? We should remain oppressed. We should remain to keep getting murdered here in America because we're not taking up the strategies. We're not being progressive and aggressive like those brothers and sisters that was in those streets yesterday in Nigeria, man. In Biafra land. These people are walking. They're unified as a nation, man. Us here in America, we're not unified as a nation. Yes, we have the provisional government of Republic of New Africa, but it's not enough brothers and sisters who know about the provisional government of Republic of New Africa. We're not unified like them. We're supposed to transform and become like the goddamn Transformers. We're supposed to transform, man. We're supposed to come together and march through these streets as a nation and demand nation rights, not civil rights, nation rights, human rights, sovereignty. You see what I'm saying? Too many of our brothers and sisters, man, you following these puppet-ass neo-civil rights movements. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to bash them because they necessary, but Black Lives Matter, all these movements are puppet movements. They're not fighting for nation rights. They're not fighting for human rights. They're fighting to fit into an oppressive government. They're still fighting the same civil rights puppet struggle. Period. You know what I'm saying? All these people you see, Al Sharpton, the snitch, all them people, man. Tamika Mallory, all these puppets. You see what I'm saying? I don't follow none of those cats. You see what I'm saying? Because they keeping the truth from you. They not teaching the true struggle, which is nationhood, land, reparations, man. And I'm not trying to bash no brothers and sisters that's doing it their way. That's their way. But we're doing it the Malcolm way. You see what I'm saying? I'm not compromising for nobody, man. You see what I'm saying? I'm not trying to fit into no oppressive government. We want true freedom, true independence here. If we can't get it here, we got to go back home. Period, man. You know what I'm saying? And let me just run through this real quick before I get off this live to let y'all know what the great General Ojukwu, who was the leader of the Republic of Biafra in 1967. This little essay that he wrote, I'm gonna just touch on a few things, and I'm gonna read a few things from it real quick to let you know how they were conscious of the black struggle here in America. You see what I'm saying? And the black struggle for nationhood. And if we couldn't get nationhood here, the great General Ojukwu wanted a Biafra right here in America. He wanted a Western Biafran nation. And it's in this speech right here that I got right here in my blog site. You can go to newafrican77.wordpress.com. Let me run that site to you again. newafrican77.wordpress.com. And just put in General Ojukwu. Let me spell his last name for you. Because I know a lot of people don't know how to spell it. It's Ojukwu. General Ojukwu. And let me just read a couple of things from this to let you know that the Biafran people were aware of what our ancestors was doing here in America and what they were truly struggling and fighting for. Let me scroll down right quick. Here you go, right here. The following is taken from Ojukwu's interviews in which he addresses African Americans, Biafra, selected speeches, General Ojukwu with the diaries and events of 1969. Page 198-204. This is what he said to the brothers and sisters here in America, the black brothers and sisters in America. It worries me very much that our black brothers and sisters in America do not, in fact, see this struggle for what it really is. What we are trying to do here is for the small area called Biafra to stay on its own. The whole concept has a significance for Africa and the black race in totality. Let me state that again. This is Marcus Garvey now. This is Marcus Garvey Pan-Africanist type struggle. Ojukwu was a Pan-Africanist, man. Trust me. This man was a Bi-African Pan-Africanist. Let me run that back. It worries me very much that our black brothers and sisters in America do not, in fact, see this struggle for what it really is. What we are trying to do here in this small area called Biafra is to stay on its own. And the whole concept has a significance for Africa and the black race in totality. Man, come on, man. Let me move on down. This is General Ojukwu. Black men have always struggled to establish themselves as men to be accepted as equal to all men. We have a unique opportunity here. He's speaking on Biafra now. If all the Pan-African and Africans over the world, and specifically blacks in America, get behind the Biafran struggle, our history is such that it has been possible for us to develop in a unique way. Biafra is a viable organization that is truly black. We derive great pride from the fact we feel very sure that has things we have done by people whose skin were white. Our heroism would be universally heralded. We have fought this battle without funds. Despite the international conspiracy against our people, we have shown that what has been done by whites can be done by our people. It is for this reason that I feel sad that our struggle is not fully understood by those for whom it is essential, the significance of Biafra for black people in America. Come on, man. Now, let me count this down. Number one, why it's important for blacks in America to get behind the struggle of Biafra. Number one, this is what the Ojukwu states. I see Biafra as a crystallization of the black man's search for identity and recognition. Two, I see Biafra as starting point of black man's march to his rightful place under the sun. His march to his destiny. His march to tomorrow of promise, progress, and equal opportunity. Three, I see Biafra as a symbol of black resistance in a world dominated by narrow national self-interest and humanity. Four, I see Biafra as a bastion of free in an age in which freedom and self-determination are conditioned by the color of skin. Five, I see Biafra as a challenge to the color of myths for the centuries which relegate the black man to the role of serfs, without brains, without pride, without dignity. Six, I would even go further to say that for the acceptance of the black race, there must be a Biafra. Without Biafra, the black man cannot establish as fully equal with other men. The black man must be able to point to a social organization which stands equally as erect as others. Possibly if it might not be this Biafra, if this Biafra is stifled, then perhaps in 20 years another Biafra will emerge. Let me move on down. November 11th is the commemoration date of the Nat Turner's execution. This is Ojukwu talking about Nat Turner's slave rebellion that took place here in Virginia, in the United States of America. This is what Ojukwu commemorated and identified far as the Africans in America and their struggle to get a independent nation here in America, a Western Biafra. November 11th, the commemoration date of Nat Turner's execution in 1831. The other Biafra, which was suggested by Ojukwu, is the independent African-American Western Biafran nation. Biafra rose in the east, but was set in the west. Woo! Let me rewind that shit. Let me rewind this, and let me remind you. Biafra was already in existence before the Provisional Government of Republic of New Africa, which came into existence a year later in 1968. So General Ojukwu and Biafra predicted an independent New African independent nation will rise in the Western Hemisphere in North America. Man, I'm going to post this article, and I want y'all to share it after I get off this live. Let me bring that back to you. If you don't think I'm telling the truth. This is what Ojukwu wrote in his essay about a Western Biafran nation in America. November 11th, he connected to Nat Turner's rebellion. November 11th is the commemoration date of Nat Turner's execution. November 11th, 1831. The other Biafra, he's talking about the New African nation. The other Biafra, which was suggested by Ojukwu, is the independent African-American Western Biafran nation in the Western Hemisphere. Biafra rose in the east, but it was set in the west. So this is the most important reason why all new Africans in America must get behind the Biafran struggle to free Biafra. Because once Biafra is free, the blacks in America will be free. Facts. This is why you must study history, man. This is why Malcolm X stated, you must study history. You see what I'm saying? Because if you don't know this history, you don't know what you're truly fighting for. You don't know what you're truly struggling for. See, we got a lot of these puppet neo-civil rights movements today. They put on the Malcolm X shirts. They put on the Assata Shakur shirts. They put on all these great leaders who are communists, who are socialists, who are nationalists. They wear these shirts of all these great freedom fighters here in America. But they don't study. They don't believe in none of the political theories or lines that those great freedom fighters were pushing. Facts. They don't believe in land. They don't believe in reparations. They don't believe in true independence. So I'm telling all my black people in America today, stop following those puppet-ass civil rights movements in America. They're not trying to get you free. Follow the Biafran struggle. Follow the New African independence struggle. So you would not be walking around in America blind, man, to what we're truly struggling for and what your ancestors were fighting for. Also, another date that Ojukwu identified with as a commemoration date for Biafrans and New Africans, blacks in America, to come together in a struggle was the Martin Luther King's birthday. Ojukwu, seeing that birthday also as a symbol for Biafra to be fulfilled as a promised land. The same type of promised land that Martin Luther King, the great Martin Luther King, often quoted in a lot of his speeches as the promised land. And Ojukwu took that as a sign, as a symbol, the great Martin Luther King birthday as a symbol, and the great quote that Martin Luther King stated in one of his speeches as a symbol that Biafra one day will be free in the East, and the New African nation in the West will be free, which will be a connection of nations, which is this quote from Martin Luther King, which Ojukwu also stated. I have been to the mountaintop and I've seen the promised land. I might not get there with you, but Biafra will one day rise. So that's basically it right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, all my people, my black peoples in America, man, start to study the struggle of Biafra. Shout out to all the Biafrans, the Biafra Digest. Keep Nnamdi Kanu name alive. Keep speaking his name. You know what I'm saying? Black people in America, do your research on Nnamdi Kanu. What else I want to say before I shut this live off? Yeah, man, I think that's basically it, man. Shout out to everybody that tuned into this live. And trust me, I see all y'all comments. I seen all y'all speeches, man. Shout out to my brother Marshall J, man, who was the one that actually invited me and got me to actually come on Radio Biafra, man. Shout out to you, brother, man. Keep fighting that struggle for Biafra, man. Man, you know, we're gonna get together again. We're gonna do it big too, also again. Somebody else I want to shout out, man. Just shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to all the Biafrans that inbox me, that DM me, and I be communicating with on social media in the DMs. I try to respond to everybody. I can't get to everybody at one time, but trust me, I love you all. Yeah, man. Shout out to all the freedom fighters that, you know, died for Biafra, man. Clutch fist salute to all the innocent lives, man. The 3 million brothers and sisters, children that were genocided by the Nigerian government and the British Empire, man. So I said my piece. I'm going to sign off. You know what I'm saying? Also, yeah, before I get off this live, also, let me just make this important statement to my Biafran people. Because I know y'all not very aware of the struggle for independence for blacks here in America. We also have a movement like the indigenous people of Biafra's movement, which is the provisional government of the Republic of New Africa. We also have a nation here, just like your nation there, that is fighting for independence here. So when you see like the term New African, or you see me posting about the Republic of New Africa, please share that information with those brothers and sisters in Nigeria so they can be aware that there's a nation here. And there are several nations here that's fighting for independence. But I'm speaking specifically about our nation, which is the provisional government of Republic of New Africa, which is standing in solidarity with your struggle. I'm a representative of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm fighting for my nation also, but I'm also speaking for your nation too. There's a black nation here in America who's fighting for independence also. We're not like those puppets you see on TV. You see what I'm saying? Like the quote-unquote popular celebrities and the so-called popular freedom fighters you see on TV that the United States government advertise to y'all. We're not them. We have political prisoners that's in prison right now. Just like just like y'all had political prisoners back then in the Nigerian Civil War, we have political prisoners here right now who's still in jail, who has done more years than Nelson Mandela, Matulu Shakur, you know what I'm saying? Jalil Muta King, Chip Fitzgerald, Russell Schultz. We even have political freedom fighters in exile. Asada Shakur, Nahanda, Abiodun, and I can't think his name right, Pete O'Neill, who's in exile in Tanzania. He lives in Africa right now. A political exile of the Black Panther Party. Mumia Abu Jamal, Abdul Alamin, a.k.a. H-Rap Brown. These are freedom fighters of our nation here who's encaged, enslaved in America today. So when you see me posting about these people, please share our struggle with your struggle. You see what I'm saying? Because your people there need to know about the struggle here also. You see what I'm saying? And maybe y'all can help us get our political prisoners free who fought for our nation. You see what I'm saying? So let's just come together, man. And, you know, under Umoja, we all Pan-Africans. We all believe in that red, black, and green. You see what I'm saying? We all under that banner. So let's just come together, man, and make this thing pop. Let's free Biafra. Let's free New Africa. I'm going to sign off right here, man. Haki, Kweli, Shakur. The seat of Gabriel Prosser, man. Gabriel Prosserville District. Free the land.